Shanti. God's company always lifts me up. Just like a father, a parent feels concerned about his children's well being. In the same way, God is our eternal parent, and He feels concern about us too. Really, God's company completely transforms us. As they say, in whosever company you are, you will accumulate their color. You will start becoming like them. You will experience the color of their company. In the same way, God as the highest on high, the beautiful parent that we have, He always wants us to be like Him. He never puts us down. The world will judge me. You are not good enough, or you're this way or that way. But God, as my eternal parent, He doesn't judge. As the song beautifully says, that He you raise me up. He puts us on His shoulders. That's true. He makes us elevated than Him. He always uplifts us so that, yes, He knows we are living in this world of chaos. It's not easy to live in this world. There is so much going on in this world. But when I have His companionship, I'm able to even lift mountains. And I cannot take this light. God's presence in my life is needed because He's always helping me to move forward. He never allows me to get stuck with anything. No obstacle can become big in my life when I have God's companionship. But an obstacle feels obstacle when I actually start fighting with that obstacle rather than experiencing God, experiencing His companionship. He's always waiting for us to give whatever we feel burdened to Him. But sometimes we have the habit of carrying our own burden, right? If a child is carrying a heavy thing, what immediately the parent will say, give it to me. Let me carry it for you. In the same way, God also does to us. Give it to me, let me carry it for you. But sometimes we forget to give Him. And we say, let me carry and let me feel burden. It becomes like a habit to carry burden inside the heart, mind, and head. But He's always really waiting to give that to Him. Whatever I'm feeling, anything inside, even a little burden, to give it to Him. Let Him take care of it. Any task, it could be any task. He's there to help. But I can only receive God's help when I connect to Him. because He's always there to help. I cannot say, God, you're not helping me. No, He always helps at the right time, in the right way. But if my connection is loose with Him, then I won't be able to receive His signals or help. So my connection with Him has to be unbroken and unshakable. It has to be a strong connection so that the current flows, the signals flow. I'm able to catch His signals. Sometimes even in a particular time, we may feel this is not going right. Many times we must have felt in our life that, what's happening is not good. This is not going right. And you may be saying, God, show me the right way. This is not going right. But at that moment, He must be helping. And it may appear it's not going right. But on the long time basis, there is something that will be right. Sometimes we say to God, this is not going right. But sometimes we don't know in the bigger picture of drama what is really right. We may feel sometimes it's not going the way I want. But in the bigger picture of drama, maybe that's the way it should go. So the point here is that I will always receive His help if I am connected. I will always receive His help when I give my burden to Him, because He's waiting to take that burden. Because for Him, it's nothing carrying my burden. He's the only one who is the true companion who lifts me up. And He says, child, you can do it. You can do it. Others may doubt you, right? I don't think so you will do it. Maybe I don't think so, this thing, so that thing. Everyone around may discourage you. But only He says, you can do it. Go ahead. He knows your heart very well. He knows the soul very well because He's that parent. And when I have His companionship, it could be something, an obstruction that I'm facing, which could be a little huge. But when I have His companionship, that huge thing can become really small. They say that with God's help, you can experience a mountain like problem. You can make it into a mustard seed. Now, mustard seed also, if you collect all the mustard seeds, it still has weight. But what doesn't have weight that much is cotton. So when I have His companionship, when I have His remembrance, the closeness with God will make even a mountain-like problem into a cottonwood. And that is true. This is not just words, it's truth. His companionship can make me cottonwood. But one thing I have to remember is that connection. Rather than fighting and correcting what's happening out there, because we mostly spend our time in corrections. This is not going right, that is not going. But when I have that connection, and then I don't have to waste my time in corrections, it will happen. But having God's company, one of the most important things one needs is honesty. Where there is honesty, a true heart, an honest heart, he's definitely there. He's definitely there. When you have a true bhavna, true heart, they say sache dil par sahib razi, meaning when you have a true heart, the sahib, that is God, is always there for you. I just need to have the true heart. Whatever I'm doing, let me be true to my actions. Let me be honest from inside. And then He's there always to help. So one needs to check from inside, what is honesty for me? Where do I become a little dishonest in my thoughts, words, and actions? And intentions. My intentions have to be clear and pure. And if your intention is really pure, it's guaranteed that no one can stop you. And God helps you for sure. If my intention is not just for my selfish purpose, my intention is something very broad, very honest to help others, then His help is there. So when I'm saying, helping is one thing, anything you're doing, do it with an honest heart, with the right intentions. But even if there is a slight mixture of intention, some little selfishness, it won't work. As they say, do it with big heart, do it with the right intention. And they say, neki ka darya mein dal, meaning you do it and then you put it in the flowing river, let it flow. Then He's there. How many times we must have experienced His companionship that way. So He gives that strength to be fearless. He gives that strength to move ahead in life. He says, child, don't get stuck. You have a destination. Don't get stuck in the scenes of life. Say you're going to work and then you stop somewhere and you're watching the scenes around. How will you get to work? No, right? I shouldn't get stuck with the scenes. And one important, most important thing is never say it is hard, I cannot do it. What is hard? When His companionship is there, really, when I have my pure intentions, it's not hard. When it becomes hard is when I don't make any effort towards it. You, you are thirsty and you want to drink water. You have to make some effort. You have to get up and take the bottle, fill the water, and drink. If you sit in one place and say it's very difficult to drink water, it is very difficult to go and get water, then how will I achieve anything? How will I actually do it? That's why they say when you take one step and then He will take you 1,000 steps. If I don't even take that one step, how will He take me 1,000 steps? And never say it is hard. Never say that I cannot do it. Just like at school also, if a child says it is hard to study, then will he be able to study? The teacher will say, at least start studying, then only you will know whether the subject is easy or hard. When you don't even study or just looking at the book and saying it is very hard, how are you going to study? You start making an effort, start studying, then you will get it. Then you will know whether the subject is hard or not. There was a time when people actually in India, they disliked Brahma Kumaris because of the white dress. And because of the knowledge also that uh, we share, people thought this was like some kind of, these people are some kind of cult. It took a long time for people to understand this is not a cult, this is spirituality. And any soul can connect to spirituality. Every soul has a right to connect to God. There is no mediate. Every soul has the right to, learn the knowledge. In the beginning, it was hard. Like people didn't like it. But because people didn't like, we never stopped doing the effort. Whatever we have to do, we have to do. Meaning, we went out, we did the service, uh, we shared the knowledge. And so people always saw us from far. When you see from far, how will you know whether it is good or not or what it is? Only when you come, when you start doing it, you will know. Only when you start really listening what it is, you will understand. It's like a child given a math problem and the child is asked to do, and the child is just looking at the problem and saying, I can't do it. Try it first. Do it, understand what it is. Then only you're able to solve the problem, right? So without taking that one step, even God cannot help me. And so we all wouldn't be even on the Zoom call like this if, early days of Brahma Kumaris, if there was no service, no, service was done. When I say service, meaning, they went out of their way to serve people. Look, this is what is the knowledge. And then people started opening up. Oh, yes, this is something universal. This is something every soul should learn. This is something connecting to God. It's not a box and you're sitting in that box. This is universal. So, like that, if I say anything, it is hard. Already, I have programmed myself. This is not going to happen, right? So, never say it is difficult. Yesterday, also, I played this song, no? That the song is very beautiful. Ye mat kaho khuda se. Mere mushkile badi hai. Don't tell God, I have big problems, what to do. Go and talk to your problems. You problem, you are very small. And my God is bigger than you. And the strength I have is bigger than you, and I can solve it. But we have the habit of going to God and saying, oh, what to do? This problem is big. But we don't understand the power that we are connecting to. The powerful energy, the source that we are connecting to. We still think God is limited. There is a limited understanding about God. And that's why we go to God and talk about our problems as if the problems are bigger than God. But instead of talking to God about our problems, talk to, excuse me, problems that you're nothing. I can face you, I can finish you. So become that destroyer of obstacles in life. Don't sit with obstacles and say, I cannot do it, it's difficult. And the other thing is, I don't have time. That is another thing we always say. Why we don't have time? Why? Why can't we create priorities in our life? And what could be so important? Leaving yourself, the soul, your peace, and you're running out there to fix something or running out there to do something. What can be so important? Losing your own peace. So never say, I don't have time for my spiritual endeavor. Then when I need help, God also says, I don't have time. Huh? He will also say, I don't have time, child, sorry. But of course, he doesn't say that. He's the bestower. What I'm saying is, we create a lot of limitations in our spiritual endeavor. We limit ourselves that I can only do this much. Why? No, I am connecting to the unlimited and I have unlimited capacity and I can do it unlimited way. I can. Time should not become your obstacle in your spiritual endeavor. Your own thoughts, your own thoughts should not become obstacle. in your spiritual endeavor. Your own thoughts, meaning doubting always whether this will happen or not. I don't know whether I'll be able to do it or not. I don't know what is this. Those kinds of doubts that we create in our mind. Our own thoughts can be an obstacle sometimes. Then that doubt will make you lose confidence, lose uh, courage. So, what sort of thoughts am I holding? Let my own thoughts not become an obstacle. And sometimes there is a kind of hesitation or stubbornness in our thoughts. I can only do this much, or I can do this, I can change. No, do not create any weak thoughts that becomes obstacle. Open up yourself, open up to unlimited, space. Don't box yourself. It's time that we open up. It's time that we open up to unlimited, the source, God. Let me take that unlimited power. He's right with us. He's saying, I am the treasure store. I'm open. Take it as much as you want. Don't limit yourself. But then we limit going to God and we say, God, can you give me some peace? God, can you do this for me? He says, don't be that beggar. You're my child and you have the right to take it. Even God wants us to become a mature child. Right? He doesn't want us to be a child who is still timid, who is still, asking. Just like even your children, right? Always parents want their children to grow in a matured way. If the child is still like, if the child is, yes, as a child you take sustenance from parents, but after some time you grow, you take your responsibility. In the same way, we can't be always like childish to God. Now it's time to take from Him. Now it's time not to ask or be a beggar anymore. Become a child and fill that treasure store into you. There is an unlimited space where we need to connect to. Still, those same old things, same old things, same old things come out. Create a change in you. Allow yourself to transform. No little thing should become my obstacle. And another obstacle is, I said, time should not become your obstacle. Your own thought should not become your obstacle, nor your own carelessness. Your own carelessness also should not become an obstacle. Sometimes we become too careless about doing the right things. Don't become careless because you never know. Time is short. If I always become careless, it's okay, then I may lose it. Mhm. Don't become careless. Do whatever you have to do it now. And another aspect, the last is people. Nobody, I should not become subservient to anyone that I lose my spiritual endeavor, my closeness to God. Nobody. Sometimes we are so stuck with public opinion, no? What will others think? What will others think? What will others think? Even if you Do something also, they will think. If you don't do also, they will think. Yes or no? Yeah. Even you're this way also, they'll think. You're this way also, they'll think. But that way also, they think. This way also, they'll think. So how can public opinion be greater than what God is telling me to do? Do what you think is right, your truth. If you understand the truth, hold that truth and keep moving closer to your destination. And nothing and no one can stop nor become an obstacle in your life for you to have a close companionship and experience of God. Okay? Om Shanti. So I pause here. And if you have any questions or if you want to comment on anything, anything you felt that you could relate, you're most welcome to share. Did I mute you all that you can unmute? I hope I didn't do that this time. No. Okay.
Om Shanti Madhavi.
Om Shanti Sudha.
I like to share you something happened.
Mm-hmm.
All the time I'm listening you, and then I realize it. This like a one time you told that whatever you have it's not that important when you leave this world. Nobody knows how much your job and positions title. So I give up everything, and my project I give it to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened? I taught everything. Like you should share your knowledge. So
Mm-hmm.
I teach all the about my project to this young man, and then my bosses and everybody thought that I don't know nothing. Like he was a very young, very energetic. He took everything. He show up everything, and I said, fine. I don't have to show you that. Just as you say, you should be honest and pure at your heart. And I said, I don't want it. So last 2 weeks we are working on presentation, and I gave him everything. I said, you do presentation. I don't need any credit. You just, I will be there for you until the end. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Today the presentation start, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? Everybody in the group said he did everything. She don't know nothing. And in the end, what happened? Only 5 slides left to give the presentation. All of a sudden, his microphone didn't work.
Uh-huh.
And I had to take it over.
Ah, you see?
And then I say everything, and then everybody surprised.
Mm.
I never mean to it, but that's it. Your honesty, God is with you. You give it everything to somebody, okay? Take it. I don't want to hold it anything. And in the end, God say, okay, you give it pure heartedly. I am coming to help you in the end. And so you did last 4 5 years, you did all the work. And then it was a big presentation. In the end, I take care of everything in the 4 5 slide, and then they realize, oh wow, she had doing all the work she had did last 5 years. But then I'm listening you, and I say, I don't want nothing. You just take it. I don't want it. I'm doing in the name of the Baba. That okay. I don't want any glory. And today I was, and by the time I was listening your session, and then in this session you say your heart, pure heart, and honesty.
Mm.
These are the 2 points you were discussing today. And I say, this young man, I say, look, he asked me to, I will give you credit. I said, no, I don't want to get any credit. Everybody work, and everybody should get, not me. Everybody work. And I'm very happy that your session, the point came. You do with the pure heart and honesty. God is always with you. And in the end, the Baba came. Only four, 5 slides left, and his microphone didn't work, and I took care of everything.
Wow, that is wonderful. That
Yeah,
is wonderful. Somewhere, your fruit actually, you
yeah,
felt the fruit of it. Yeah.
yeah. So, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you for sharing that, Sudha. Very,
Yeah.
very sweet. Yeah. Mm, good.
Om Shanti, Sister Madhvi. How are you?
I am good, Poonam. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It was so beautiful. Baba, the way Baba takes care of us in so many ways.
Mm,
As you said, if you take one step, he'll come 1,000 steps in front. But still, we cannot doubt. We have to be so much into it, trusting him that whatever he's doing, it's so right and correct.
mm.
Like he's such a humble giver, and we are such a proud beggars. You know,
I like that.
his grace is flowing and flowing. But if we keep the pot upside down, where will we collect the grace? We have to be in acceptance of all his grace by giving him time.
Mm,
As you said, because we have to go back home,
mm.
but time is the main thing. And no, we cannot doubt him at all, because whatever he's doing the best for us.
Right. Right.
So
Very good.
beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank you
you.
for sharing. Very
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Okay.
Om Shanti,
Om Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti, Madhavi sister.
Yes. Brother.
So आज का lecture I found it very much every day, every time it is motivational. आज का I found it more motivating.
Mm-hmm.
To follow the, can I say BK faith or BK values? Can I use this word? BK
No,
faith or BK values? No.
we basically say it as knowledge because it's not coming from any individual. Whatever sharing is done, whatever knowledge it is from God, and so we call it as godly knowledge. It's not a BK faith. This is not a little religion or anything. So it's spirituality. So um, nor BK values, because values are something that is universal. Values cannot be titled to any particular
I
uh,
see.
sect, because values are something very, very open and universal to every soul. Love, peace, and all these values, belong to everyone. And even faith, when we say uh, it's not about a particular religion or anything, when we say it's the trust or the feeling in God. So even faith is universal. It's a trust or feeling or love for God is universal. So we call it as godly knowledge, or we call it as universal principles. Don't name it as BK.
So I was quite impressed when you said we should not be subservient to any public opinion.
Mm.
Right? We should not be subservient to others' opinion.
Yeah.
We have to keep our own belief or opinion and follow that. Should have can do attitude, right?
Yeah,
I
like,
can do it.
yeah, like when you understand the truth and you feel this is truth from your bottom of your heart, then I don't have to like break that principle or that truth because of public opinion. You know what I mean?
So we said, yes.
Because
So,
like there is a saying in Hindi, "Dharat pariye dharma na chodiye," they say, meaning whatever is true to you, whatever is a principle to you, is a principle to you, and follow it. Even the earth breaks around you. You have to do what the truth is.
Can you repeat again man, I've been to say the Sanskrit word, Hindi word, you say dharma
Dharat pariye dharma na chodiye.
na chodiye.
Meaning, dharma doesn't mean religion. It means your actions, your principles.
Yes.
Your way of living. When you feel this is the truth in my way of living, this is my principle. So you don't break that principle for somebody else's opinion.
Yes, it is so interesting.
Mm.
This is quite inspiring. Thank you so much, sister.
Sure.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Anybody else? Okay, so we can close the call now. So thank you everyone for joining. It's always lovely to have you all. It makes the call very rich and it makes the call lively. We all coming like this together and spending these evenings, in this spiritual endeavor is beautiful. So have a good night, beautiful night, and we will meet soon again. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.